Grant us airtime to speak to Nigerians. Don't be selective in your interviews. You guys are inviting proxies that will never show up to speak to the Nigerian people. Those of us that are in the race and really have something to offer want to speak to the Nigerian people. Grant us that time. All of these are coming from a presidential candidate who feels the media are not doing enough to showcase him to the electorate. Details of this coming right away. My name is ADS. Let me take you on the ride. Now watch this.
I remember that across the country, I was granted an interview maybe only 10 times, 2018 and 2019 by TV stations. Some radio stations did very well. But every day, every hour, they're always granting interviews to proxies of candidates who would never come on TV. Some of the candidates, you go to their houses and beg them to speak with you. Those of us who want to talk about the most important socio-political issues affecting our people, you don't want to talk to us. We want to change strategy. Strategy change means that I have to be speaking, with my tongue in cheek about things that are very important for the Nigerian people. If the Nigerian people would figure out how to listen to us, we will go and speak to them through those outlets. And internet is there as well. And we have been using internet extensively. But I think there are also rules, regulations that says, that broadcast media in the country have a duty to allow all the candidates who are running for election, especially presidential candidates, to be covered equally. So you are also violating rules that you are freely subscribed to.
Omoyele Sowore has always been vocal about his presidential ambition since he showed interest in 2019 general elections. He's one person that has really shook the political space in this country. He deserves more airtime with the media. He is one passionate candidate I have seen in the presidential race so far. He spits fire, irrespective of whose toes he might be stepping on. He just wants to be heard. Listening to Sowore on Arise TV over the weekend opened my eyes to something that nobody is even talking about, yet is a huge burden to us as a nation. I bet you don't want to wake up one morning and find out that you have become a second citizen in your country, or because your country is in a heavy debt. Now watch Sowore speak again on this. Watch.
Look at the debts. Which of them are genuine? Because what you have seen, even till now, is that some of the monies that were borrowed as far back as military era were stolen. Abacha is an example of this. He's still sending money from his ATM all over the world to Nigeria. We just got $23 million the other day from the US. And some of the monies that he stole, so I'm sorry, which people said were up to $5 billion, were some of the monies that they borrowed during those periods that never made it to the shores of Nigeria. So you have to investigate some of these debts or some of these borrowings that we are engaging in to make sure that they are actually getting to the shores of Nigeria and they are not sent into private bank accounts of some of these individuals in government. That thorough check and audit of our debt profile is very, very important before we go into the international community and ask for a moratorium where necessary. And when you have a clear idea of what these things are, then you can be talking about what's the exact ratio of your debt to your GDP.
Nigeria's total debt stock rose to 41.6 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2022, representing a 2.05 trillion naira increase compared to 39.56 trillion naira recorded as of December last year. In dollar terms, Nigeria's debt stock rose to $100.1 billion. Similarly, Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio rose to 23.27% in the first quarter of the year, compared to 22.47% as at December 2021. While this is lower than the self-imposed limit of 40%, the rate is quickening faster due to the increased borrowing and tepid economic growth. This is contained in the quarterly public debt portfolio report released by the Debt Management Office, DMO. Now listen up. If this figure does not scare you, then nothing will ever. Like Sowore rightly said in that video, We need to audit our debt profile to make sure that this borrowed monies even made it to the shores of this country and didn't end up in personal accounts. Let it not be that these monies were borrowed in the name of the country for personal use. Yes, it's possible. Who is auditing our debt profile? Who? Nobody is even talking about it. All the presidential candidates, none is even talking about this. We keep hearing about monies missing in billions with ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Those ones happened internally. How sure are we that our borrowed monies even made it to Nigeria in the first place? I will not be surprised if they never did. I won't. Indeed, there was a country, and the voice of Chinua Achebe. So please, everyone should be given an opportunity to speak on national TV if they so wish. Before the debate proper for presidential elections, candidates that have been vocal about their presidential ambition should be granted that time. They are willing to speak, so let them speak. Now to the electorates, make an informed decision before you cast your vote come 2023. Listen to your candidates, hear what they have to offer, and vote wisely. Don't follow, what's it called again, stomach infrastructure. It will not do you any good. After 4 years, another 4 years is loading, and you keep suffering. So together, we will get it right this time. I will see you again in my next presentation. Have a nice day.